I have a lot of favorite albums and songs, but one of my favorite Newsboys album is "Take Me to Your Leader."
Mm-hmm.
And earlier you were talking about how your songs were quirky and just different, and I think about the line "Isabella is a belly dancer."
Now you try and sing that when you're tired. You know, like what's serious? Yeah, Isabella was a belly dancer with a kleptomaniac's restraint. It's like, man, you're out of breath. You're running around like a chicken with his head cut off, and you gotta stay on the money. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, but that was the brilliance of Steve Taylor.
Yeah.
And I think, I think in those early days there was just a real chemistry. For whatever reason, there was something that just gelled between Steve Taylor and the Newsboys.
Yeah.
And I think, Peter a lot of times would know exactly what he wanted the song to say.
Sure.
But then he would hand it over to the lyrical genius of Steve Taylor.
Yeah.
That would take that, like even, somebody came up to me and they asked me about one of their favorite lyrics in the song, that how the song Shine, and, how it talked about you can have such an influence on somebody's life that you'd cause a vegetarian to barbecue a hamster.
So the song Breakfast off that album, did you
Yeah.
guys ever think that would become what it was and is? I mean, singing about Captain Crunch.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I got to tell you, I think we weren't the best friends of a lot of cleanup people in arenas. Man, because sometimes, mate, the floor at the end of a gig in these big arenas was just covered with cereal, and some poor arena guy or somebody with the promoter team, so they weren't getting a fine, had to sweep up Captain Crunch cereal. It's a funny thing. You're in the studio and you hear a song and there's just something about the song that you feel like, man, oh, this sounds like a hit. And sometimes you don't even know. Sometimes you think, well, is this song, and then it takes on a life of its own. And that, or sometimes a song can be a hit from the first moment someone hears it.
Yeah.
The first time it's played on the radio and people hear it for the first time, they're like, oh, what's that song?
Yeah.
It takes on a life of its own, which is really quite remarkable. And then on the flip side, if you're on stage singing a song and if it's not going over well, it's the longest 3.5, 4 minutes of your life. And you can't wait for it to be over so you can go into the next song and try to dig yourself out of that hole.